Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind Eminent Terry's Moon, Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I want to talk about top 5 powers. And I'm gonna freestyle this shit because I seen there's a few people charts that's very powerful that I'm starting to see like, okay, yeah, it's a pattern. Now I want to talk about the top 5 powers in astrology. Now powers comes with conjunctions. Conjunctions deal with powers. So the conjunctions is your powers. You can have good or bad powers, but powers in general can work effectively in any realm of reality uh, that you want to pursue. So let's talk about top 5 powers. Now, this is no specific order, but this is one powerful one. Sun conjunct Saturn. Now, Sun conjunct Saturn people. These people know how to take their actions, the way they act, how they see things, and what they're consciously aware of, and put all that energy towards gaining structure in their life, seeing reality, burning through reality, and being able to make reality out of what was not reality. These people define reality. These are the people who do what other people say you can't do, you can or can't do, because the Saturn represents reality. The sun represents illusion, but creativity, like imagination, which you're able to see. So it's fire, it's heat. The Saturn doesn't reflect the light. Saturn is more of what can be seen, like what can be grounded, what can be touched, what can be found, what can be a foundation, what can be stabilized. What's the reality of this? Fire represents the expression, the faith in something, the intuition, the vision of something. So what you can make out of your visions. And this is what people do with Saturn conjunct the sun. People make reality out of their creativity, gain structure in their life out of their actions and what they see, and the things that they see and their expressions and things of that nature, right? And boundaries and restrictions and limits are seen for what they are, and actually opposed and rushed upon and ran through. So these people run through boundaries also. So it's like this is one of those people that you can be like, man, you can't do that, and that be the person that actually do it. And they actually got away with it. You be like, dang, this person, that what they was doing didn't even seem like it was really reality or practical. But they made sense out of it. They made a reality out of it. They made practicality out of it. So you can take that and decipher under all theologies and illusions. Now these people may be a little bit stifled, a little bit on stepping on one person to get to the top a lot of times, and they may have no problems with doing that. But that's actually good for business, and that's actually good for the society that we in right now. Because it's like dog eat man, man eat dog. So you know. Now let's go to another one. I want to say, let me think. Jupiter conjunct midheaven. Because Jupiter conjunct midheaven. What happens here? Jupiter brings experiences, but it brings expansion, and expansion is caused from the experiences. Because experiences, you're able to extract wisdom and knowledge from these experiences in everyday life, and you're able to dish out new meanings and reasonings, and that causes expansions within the mind. So when you want to talk about Jupiter conjuncting the 10th house, now when we say conjunct the 10th house, that means it's the same degree. So it's going to share a lot of the ninth house attributes also. It's going to impact the ninth house. So what happens here is expansion is going on with your education, wisdom, and knowledge, meaning, and reasoning to things, and your broad philosophical point of view of looking at being conscious aware, and also the experiences that you go through and things that you have learned. And also all that is going to be impacting your status, what you're known for, how you seen. So how you're seen or whatever you're known for and your status always going to have a lot of wisdom attached to it, a lot of experience attached to it, to the point that you end up stumbling and falling over a career because Jupiter brings experiences. So you end up experiencing a career or experiencing some type of status, and you end up being able to extract a lot of wisdom and knowledge from these things, learn a lot, and be real impactful, be able to help and teach others of whatever you're into and things of that nature. So that's what happens right here when you got motherfucking Jupiter conjunct. It's very powerful, very powerful. Now Another powerful one is Pluto conjunct the moon. Pluto conjunct the moon. Now, this is powerful, but this is not really. It can cause your emotions to be transformed. So, this is kind of iffy, like kind of there, kind of here. I want to say, Pluto conjunct Mars. Pluto conjunct Mars. Now, that's very powerful because you got power and control over your desires, willpower, passions, and motivations, and you're willing to transform it. So when you got a transformative planet with the planet of desires, passions, and motivations, then you know how to transform something that's not working. AKA, you know when to stop doing something that's not working and go and intend to do something else. Have another desire. Get another passion. When that's not working, jump to something else. Or you know how to transform something to work. You know how to add on to things. Add this things. And you go deep into it. And you like to control it and power. Now you can become controlling and overpowering over other people's desires and motivations and passions. So try not to jump into that. But on the flip side, that makes you automatically leader or the boss like mentality. So you're able to automatically take the boss role or take the leadership role because there is a lot of people who do need guidance. So you're here to control what other people desire because you already have a sense of intensity or a sense of transformation or a sense of what to do or a sense of failure that you already experienced in that realm of reality already. You already been through the depths and the darkness of that realm of reality that you're trying to see. So for the most part, when you got Mars conjunct Pluto, this is your insight. You gotta and then Pluto represents deep desires also, deep motivations, deep passions, deep goals, deep transitions. So just look at Mars like where you're going to eat today, and look at Pluto like where we're going grocery shopping. See, more longevity, more distant. You know what I'm saying? More strategic. You know what I'm saying? This would give Aries the far out. I stab your ass right now, and this would give Scorpio. All right, you know what? I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna stab your ass when the time is right. See, Pluto gives the Mars the strategic nature in Scorpio, and Mars in just being in Aries in general gives person the rapid energy and to do it now. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the certain different natures when it comes to Mars and Pluto and how it may get expressed to a person who got Mars conjunct Pluto. Yeah, so you're very powerful and very intense when it comes to getting things done and being aggressive also. So all right, boom, that's two. That's two. Let's go to three. No, that's three. Because we did the Sun conjunct Saturn, we did Jupiter conjunct the midheaven, and we just did Mars conjunct Pluto. So let's go to four. What else is powerful? Venus conjunct the Moon. Now, this can lead out into being passive. You know what I'm saying? Being too relatable. You know what I'm saying? Being too compromising. But love is one of the most powerful energies in the world. And anytime you got the moon connected to Venus in any kind of way, even if your moon conjunct your partner's Venus, or you know what I'm saying, or your friend's Venus, or your family member Venus, this is powerful. And especially if you have Venus conjunct Mars, Venus conjunct the moon to yourself, it's a fucking computer. Watch. Now, for the most part, this is what you need to understand. You might hang that shit up. Now, for the most part, when you have the moon conjunct Venus. Now, I got the moon opposite Venus. My moon opposite Venus. So I don't share this. I'm totally at odds with you people. I don't know where to love at, even if it's right in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? I will find something to create an opposition. Like, I don't know why I'm like that. But that's what happens when Venus opposite the moon. So this is how I even know, because sometimes I could jump into you guys' experiences. I just feel like I'm vulnerable at that time, so I have to jump back out. So I know for a fact that Venus conjunct the moon is powerful, because my hatred is powerful. So I know y'all love is powerful. So it's almost like the moon represents who you are, your emotional reactions and your emotional response to the world that you're in. So you're responding and reacting to love first, appreciation, value, relating to somebody first, the positivity in things first. You know what I'm saying? You're willing to compromise first. You look at these things first. So this makes you very relatable as a person. So like I said, you go too far off on the other end, but love in general always keep people in good favors. You see what I'm saying? To the point that a person has to learn have to learn how to be opposing at times. But for the most part, you know, when Venus conjuncting the moon, that's part of a person's nature. That's part of who they are. So this is very powerful. You just end up falling into situations that's dealing with support. You just automatically look at ways of you're supposed to support people first, and you get support. And support comes from all angles because you manifest it. Because the moon is the area of life that causes manifestations also, and things of that nature. So, you know, it's just a powerful energy. Love is powerful. You're able to get in and out and everything, conversate well. You know what I'm saying? Being good natures with other people, so you kind of get what you want a lot faster than others may get. So that's why it's a powerful energy. So if you got trying to get a job or trying to get in a position, it'll be easy for you. You one of those type of people that other people got to look at like, damn, how the fuck they didn't even put in half the work. How the fuck did they do that? See what I'm saying? You just manifested. You manifested a lot of love because of the state that you already in. People don't know that they manifest the states that they're in. So if you're constantly in an angry state, then you're gonna manifest a lot of angry shit. You have to understand. Now, last but not least, let's do fuck it. Let's do and this is a far out one. Let's do the ascendant conjunct Uranus. Now, you got Uranus conjunct the ascendant. Now, what happens here is it shares a lot of 12th house energy too. So the things you subconsciously do and how you subconsciously act. So those are the things that be on your mind. Like, man, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to go do that. Or this is what I want to do. I want to do this right now. Or and it always pop up in situations where you're doing something that you can't actually go do it. But these are the things that you like to do that make you comfortable. That's the subconscious. And then when you take that and add that to your personality and your personal issues and personal affairs, these are things that you like to personally do. So you might personally be upset when you're not able to be in your subconscious, right? But for the most part, you add your personality, personal issues, and personal affairs in your subconscious. And these go through a lot of changes, rebellious and opposition type things. So for an example, you go through a lot of opposition in your personal life, in your personal issues, but you're also opposing and changing and rebellious against a lot of other personal things, personal issues and personal affairs. Also, when it comes to the subconscious, these things is constantly going through changes, constantly going through rebellious and opposition type situations. But going through all these situations makes a very unique and original person. A person go through a bunch of unique and original personal issues. They're around a bunch of a bunch of unique and original personal affairs. I mean, personal people, places, and things, and locations and situations. And their subconscious realm is very unique and original, and the things that they subconsciously do. So this makes revolutionary people. And we know anytime we see somebody revolutionary comes great power. Now I want to say something about power. Because where I'm from, power is looked at as petty. See, the P word, the letter P, the higher you go, the less dense, the less language, the less words, the less meaning. So I can correlate P to everything y'all correlate to the word, the letter being P being used there. But for the most part, having power wasn't necessarily how you look at it. See, in my realm, amongst the stars, power is a sense of source. But we looked at you as a person who it's a yin and yang to everything. We looked at you in a positive light if you was a person who was able to access their own power, have their own source. We looked at people that needed other people for their sense of source or their sense of power, aka other stars, other suns and planets. We looked at these stars as petty, as weak. But if you're able to create a light and illusion to impact enough stars to follow you, to follow that illusion, and to give you their light and energy for you to become a source, then all kudos to you. But we just looked at that as petty. Now, what is power? Power is light, source. In so many realms of reality, light is evil. So many realms of realities is not. We're not going to get there, but this is power. Power is source. When you talk about having power in your household, you need a power source. So what is a source? A source is spirit and soul. So what is spirit and soul? Spirit is frequency, soul is vibration. A spirit is a soul, but a spirit only becomes a soul when it starts to experience, when it gets its time, its second, when it goes into a realm of reality. A realm of reality is a realm of fluid in some way, shape, or form, a realm of vibrations. See what I'm saying? The frequency is just a shoot-off idea, a thought, a conscious, your time, your line of events. And it's constantly going into realms of realities. It's constantly going into different spaces, constantly going into different vibrations. So it's constantly being a soul, gaining experiences, gaining traction. A soul is a star, a source that's going imploding in and out. Spirit is vibrating. So as it's traveling, it's accumulating things that matter to it. And the things that matter to it becomes matter. And it can become solid. So when a frequency goes into a realm of reality, that caused source, that caused light. Don't even listen to particles. They got particles wrong. The proton and the neutron create an electron. It ain't no electrons create. They got you all fucked up. The proton means positivity. The neutron means negativity, which can make things neutral. When that positive go into that negative charge. And when the positive and negative comes together, it creates a charge. This was why the only name they could come up with electron was coming from electricity. Electron, spark. When a proton and neutron come together, it creates sparks. Different electrons. And those different electrons is the aura that's able, so you can see it. So you can see what a proton and neutron is. You see the electron of it. You see the electrons. You see the light emanating from it. The light. So, that a person who know how to bring their frequency and vibration together themselves, their right and left brain together themselves. This is what the whole Bible is about, the human mind and becoming a man, woman. And where all things come from. You know what I'm saying? When you could bring any type of positive, negative together, right and left brain together. You know what I'm saying? Proton, neutron together, right? It's going to create that spark, that light. So as stars, we knew how to do this ourselves. But you have a lot of people who need to take other charges in order for them to be charged. So they have to take a bunch of separate electrons to help bring together their proton and neutron, to help bring together their positive and negative. So aka, if we want to bring it in y'all realm of reality, look at stars. What makes stars powerful down here? Because they're getting paid attention to by a lot of different sources, aka a lot of people. A lot of people are giving their attention, aka their light. So when a person is bringing together their right and left brain, right, aka listening, let's say a person who make music, that's a star, right? So he's a powerful person, right? When a person is listening to their music, right, you're dancing, right? You're receiving the frequency of it because you're hearing the sounds and the sound meanings and the music, and then now it's making you vibrate. You're catching the vibrations of it because now you feel it. It's making you move, the motion, the fluid of it, the vibration. So it came together. So now it come together in you. You're able to move and vibe with the music. You're vibing with the frequency vibration. Now, the music or whatever that attention is being paid to, paid to, whatever that attention is being paid to, like, okay, the artist who made that song, or then that gets filtered through what you're listening to it through the headphones and the company that made the headphones or the radio station, and then that gets filtered through what location and area of life those sensories is coming from. Then that gets filtered through. But you get what I'm saying? It all started from your source, your right and left brain coming together and giving off to that. Then once it goes through the universe, it goes through all them sources. The person who made the song, the headphones is played through, the sensories, the locations of where this is coming from, all that, boom, 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 boom. Then once all that source goes back, it's carrying a big ass amounts of energy. Then once that artist get that back, boom, he's getting it back from so many different sources. He's powerful. So this is why you're able to look at a star as powerful. But I bet you go around using these words every day. Oh, that's a powerful person. Oh, this person got a lot of leeway. Oh, this person could do a lot of things with their success right now. All that is all the same shit. It all correlates to just a person who got a lot of attention right now. And then I just gave you the meaning of that. It goes back to everybody giving them their source, their own source. So that's how they became powerful, because the type of source they is themselves was able to attract a lot of source from other people, from other sources. So it made their light bigger, aka their source bigger. So they're more powerful. You know what I'm saying? They're a powerful source. So they could do a lot of things with their power. So I just broke it down to y'all in 3D. So go back up to where I'm from. We was doing this literally. Literally, we looked at that as petty. This is why down here I'm able to look at, and you're even able to look at people who got a lot of power as it's something backing that, or something to that, or that's not just all positive. That's why you're able to even pick up on that sense, because even though you're in the third dimensional vessel, your spirit and your mind is able to at least be consciously aware of the fourth and fifth and sixth dimension. You're just not physically there with a brain yet, but you can be aware of certain pieces there. This is why you have an imagination and you're able to invent and create. See what I'm saying? So I had those brains. I'm just here telling you how it is literally, and why y'all can even perceive down here why it's funny a little bit. But due to the fact of y'all under illusions and lights of the shit, y'all can only still make sense out of it as far as y'all three-dimensional brain can make sense out of it. But I'm here making sense out of it from a higher dimension for y'all. Up here, this is why y'all can sense of it. We looked at it like it's petty, because you need outer sources for yourself to emit light. Nigga, I know how to emit light my fucking self. I don't need nobody's source. I don't need no followers. I don't need none of that shit. I already know myself. I already know how to shine bright. So this all boils down to, in y'all dimension, as people who are scared to be themselves and people who are scared to not be them, who are scared to be themselves. So when you look at the majority of stars and people who are in power, right? They do all this shit to be themselves, to gain source and attraction. But as soon as they gain that source and attraction, they're no longer themselves. They actually have to do shit for the source that gave them that power. This is where obligations come from. This is why a star is obligated. This is why a star is have to do things to keep their source, to keep their power. This is why they have to keep going in realms of reality, to the point that they end up losing themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because the source that they have wasn't all their own source to begin with. So let's go back up to my dimension. In my dimension, that's why we looked at that shit as petty. Because now you could become weak and can become forgotten, and nobody will give a fuck about your space and your location, because once your source leave, and how you got the source was from other sources. Once all those other sources leave and give their attention to other stars, then your ass ain't shit but just your natural source again. And then that ain't shit. You see what I'm saying? So this is why in my reality we looked at that shit as petty. Your ass ain't even got no mass no more. You can't even move. You ain't even got the power to go through certain locations and travel certain lights like you used to no more. Your ass weak now. Now, if your ass would have developed your own source in the first place, you wouldn't need the other source. Your source would have already been big within your own realm of reality, but in where we at, it's within our own space. Our light, regardless if anybody want to be attracted to our light or not, it's important for us to be our own source because we become a heavy mass and a big enough light in our own space. You know what I'm saying? So when other people do, and when other stars do cross us and things of that nature, they may have to learn our space a little bit and learn our direction and learn our traction because we already on our own path. We're not following no other light and illusion. We're going our own way in the whole cosmic wave. Then it takes a person to learn our direction and learn how we're rotating a little bit to decipher or decide if they want to follow that rotation and be absorbed in that light. See, this is I'm giving you a whole concept of how stars become stars, but I'm giving you the understanding of it consciously. Like if you was to have that brain, I've lived in these. I don't know what other way to really express to y'all that I really lived that without you looking at me like I'm lying on this, making shit up. But I'm gonna finish it. But look, it's like this. We look at it like it's our own space, it's our own source. And if certain stars come travel by my location and travel, and then they pick up on how I'm rotating and the direction I'm going, and what's accumulating in my light, like all the things I have accumulated in my experiences, like what kind of dust particles and things of that nature is helping my mass, aka that's how other stars look at you, and that's how they're able to tell what you have experienced or what you have been through, what locations in space and what different vibration frequencies and spaces you have been through, and that's how they're able to tell. For an example, I may have a certain asteroid attached to me, or certain dust molecules attached to me that in our conscious awareness we look at it like another star will look at that and be like, oh, okay, I know where he came from. Or I know what he have learned. I know what he have been through. AKA, they know pieces of my travels. I wouldn't have had that specific asteroid or dust particle attached to my mass light source traveling. I wouldn't have had it in that shape or on that position on me in the first place if I haven't went through something like this, or went through it in this kind of rotation, or went through it in this kind of light, or these lights, aka was assorted in that space. Aka lights just means illusions, aka mean concepts and realms of realities. So if you carry in a certain vibrational light, that's letting you know what kind of illusions you was through. See, this is how we use light for shit. We don't live in a light. See, that's the difference between y'all. When y'all in a body, I'm gonna say we all in a body, but in this world and how low it is in the third dimension, y'all live in a light, but the lights that y'all live in is like so dense. It's almost like y'all live under a light, under a greater light, under a greater light. So the light spectrum that y'all catching is very dense to the point that you could just say y'all just live in light. You know what I'm saying? But once you start to reach higher, you'll start to understand and perceive light for what it is, and understand your own light. And even though we live under a greater light, we understand more of the light conscious spectrum in general. You see what I'm saying? It's just a bigger world. The same way how you understand more in this world than a world that's smaller than you. But it's just about interpretation and perspective. But this is how we looked at it. So when you become your own source, you don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck who follow you or not. But if there are people who follow you, then your source even become even bigger. But say those people was the other sources, the other stars were to decide to leave and pay attention to another star. It would make no effect on your own source if you was your own source in general. So if you bring that down into 3D, how y'all look at it down here, that's just like a person who have everything they want and need, and they can care less if they get more of it from external, down from the external world down here. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's harder to be your own source down here because you live in a lower realm of reality that's under a whole bunch of other realms of realities. Like y'all in 3D, not even midway to understand that. So it's like down here, you really have to come together down here to experience what I'm talking about that you can just do more of by yourself. See what I'm saying? Down here, you could do a lot of shit by yourself, but to do some real shit is going to take more to get together. Now, where I was at, we still had to come together, but it was more shit that we could do ourselves. You see what I'm saying? It's lesser the experience, the higher you go. And y'all should be able to decipher that, but I'm gonna stop this. There's so many realms of realities, and it's so many worlds I lived in. It's just like, man, it's when I come back to talk to y'all, to talk to three dimension. Sometimes sometimes it feel like I'm lowering myself. Sometimes it feel like it's no point, and then sometimes I realize that no, it is these 3D concepts I need to talk about to y'all, because that's actually what's going to gain traction and source in this realm of reality. Like if I talk about start talking about, okay, the reason why women get beat. Oh, the reason why black people this way. Oh, the reason why the reason why cars is made this way. Oh, the reason why light hits your eye spectrum this way. If I start talking about those kind of 3D shit, yeah, I understand. I start getting 50,000 views and 100,000 views and shit like that. And a lot of times I be so high in the higher realms, I be feeling like, man, to bring myself down, I'm doing a disjustice. But then I fail to realize that, no, that's the point. You're supposed to do videos about 3 dimension, because that's where people is at. You're going to start losing people the more you get into the shit I was just talking about just now, how I lived as stars. But you see how I brought y'all into it? I brought y'all into it by talking about astrology. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta work with me. I gotta balance my high dimension with the low dimension. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that by y'all comments and by what y'all tell me what I should talk about and things of that nature. So I want to thank y'all, thank everybody who actually do watch me. I love y'all. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think I don't appreciate it. And I just want you to know that reason why I got so many videos is because it's not because of y'all though. It's because I'm my own source. So if y'all was able and willing to see a source, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna do this whether it was somebody watching or not. But so that makes people like me appreciate people who do watch that much more than a person who's out here struggling and being like, oh, I gotta do this because people gotta watch. Oh, I gotta have this amount of debates because this will make people watch. Or I gotta do this much argument, or I gotta get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about. Not in the world I was at. It's not what it's about. And coming to this world, I feel the hell in this world, because that's all this world is about down here. And me knowing that from a higher realm and coming down here, I feel like I'm lowering myself even to participate in that kind of way of doing things. But that's the only way to protect yourself in this realm. And it just proved to me how deep in hell I don't even want to say hell. It proves to me how deep in this life on top of life on top of life on top of life thing we in. It just shows me how deep and how small this perspective is. So as a human looking at another human, I don't give a fuck what kind of size y'all giving each other. You 5'11", you 6 foot tall, you 4 feet tall, you can be damn near 12 feet tall. You small as fuck compared to anything real. So your imaginations and thoughts is furthest away from anything real. So when you got a person that came from something that's real, explaining something to you that's real, it's not going to appear as real. It took a fucked up situation to understand that. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn. Man. You live in a fucked up situation as a spirit.